Hello and welcome. My name is Alan and we are back with news and politics from around the world for Saturday, the 25th of January 2025. Let's start right off here. This is from the Appalachia subreddit. There's a West Virginia protest. In the past week, it has become blatantly obvious that our government does not have the interests of the people in mind. Our lawmakers are only interested in putting money into their own pockets by any means necessary. We have seen illegal termination of vital government employees, fellow Americans and immigrants alike be treated or hunted like animals, and environmental protections completely rescinded. DEI laws have also been effectively terminated, allowing the termination of any federal employee for being discriminatory. Our president has not done one thing since his inauguration to benefit the majority of the American people. It's benefited the very rich, but that's it. Donald Trump's closest and most publicly visible advisor, Elon Musk, has danced in the spotlight he created by doing a Nazi salute twice. We are not fascist, racist, or discriminatory, and will not let ourselves be viewed as such. Elon Musk must be held accountable for his sickening behavior. We, the people, have eyes. The red flags have been raised and we are watching. We will not stand idly by while our freedom and rights are slowly stripped from us. We will not let our brothers and sisters be deported without due process. Our lawmakers will represent the interest of the American people, not for profit. We will stand united for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It would be a disgrace to our founding fathers to not stand up for our country. Get involved. Join Voices Ignited. Spread the word. Freedom is a right, not a privilege. Take a stand against billionaires running our government. They stand for themselves, not for us. Help spread awareness rally on February the 17th at the Morgantown Courthouse Capitol Building and Cable County Courthouse. 2 to 4 p.m. What else I got here? President's Day Rally. For the people, not profit. Stay united. Stand up against the oppression and take back our rights and freedoms. February the 17th, 2 to 4 p.m. The Charleston Capitol, Morgantown Courthouse, and the Cable County Courthouse. Ignite voices. Absolutely. If you're standing with Trump, if you like Trump, you're not an American. You're a moron. But with that said, let's go look at some stats here. This is NFL top 10 in receiving yards per game for each decade in American football. We have top 10 receiving yards per game in each decade. NFL, AFL, and AAFC per game yards encompass the entire decade, not the player's top season. So, 1930s, which is kind of considered where football begins. NFL, I should say. Receiving yards per game in the 30s. Don Hutson had a clear advantage over everybody else with 54.8. Then you had Bill Smith with 25.2. And he's followed by Eggs Mansky, Charlie Malone, Joe Carter, Bill Hewitt, Bill Carr, Bill Sordet, and Milt Gantenbein, and Johnny Blood. In the 1940s, Don Hutson again. So Hutson was an early receiving king. Clearly. His closest rival that year, Hutson himself had 80.8 in the 40s. And in that decade, his closest rival was Max Speedy at 68.3. Then they were followed by Jim Benton, Alan Bills, Ken Kavanaugh, Lamar Davis, John Green, Billy Dewell, Nick Ferrante, Jay King. So the bottom 9 were all new names. But Hutson still remained on top. In the 1950s, the leader of the 50s in receiving yards per game, Harlan Hill at 70.9. Now you'll notice all the top 10 actually moved quite a bit over. In the 30s, number 10 was 12.8. In the 40s, the lowest was 31.7. And by the 50s, the lowest is 45.7. Now, the leader, as I said, in the 50s is Harlan Hill at 70.9. And he was actually followed up closely by two individuals, Billy Houghton at 66.2 and Elroy Crazy Legs Hirsch at 65.6. And then they were followed by a number here: Hugh Taylor, Billy Wilson, Tom Fears, Raymond Berry, Pete Pios, Dante Lavelli, Bob Boyd. Now, I've heard of names like Tom Fears and Raymond Berry. Those names are very familiar to me, as is, like I said, Elroy Hirsch. I'm more familiar with Hirsch than I am with Hill or Houghton, so yeah. Now, let's look at the 1960s. At the top, we have a Charger legend in Lance Allworth, leading everybody with 93.5 a game over the decade. The lowest was 63.6. So again, we're moving further over. All the receivers are just getting better and better. Allworth is followed by three individuals who are pretty close together here. Don Maynard at 76.8, Art Powell at 76.6, and Bob Hayes at 76.4. Then we have Charlie Hennigan, Homer Jones, Pete Retzlaff, Gary Garrison, Lionel Taylor, and George Sawyer. Now, we're going into the 70s. We're getting more into the modern era. Everything does fall back a bit here. So the 70s are more closely aligned with the 50s in yardage, because your leader in the 70s is Steve Largent. And he had a total of 63.6 yards a game for the decade. He was followed up fairly closely by most of the people, but the next one in line was Drew Pearson at 56.6. Then you had Harold Jackson, Sammy White, Otis Taylor, Alfred Jenkins, Gary Garrison. So he reappears. He was in the 60s and now he's in the 70s. So he was pretty good for a long time. Nat Moore, Isaac Curtis, and John Gilliam, who finished out the top 10 at 50.1 yards a game over the decade of the 70s. Now, let's get into the 80s. At the top, you have Jerry Rice leading the pack at 83.7 yards a game. He's followed by, these are a lot of the names I remember because this was the decade I first started watching football. But he's followed by Gary Clark at 72.7 yards. Then we have Al Toon, Steve Largent. So Steve Largent led in the 70s, but he's still in it in the 80s as being a huge receiver. James Lofton, Anthony Carter, Mike Quick, Art Monk, Ernest Givings, and Tony Hill rounds it out at the end there with 64 yards a game. So yeah, I remember Jerry Rice, Gary Clark, Al Toon, Steve Largent, James Lofton. Not as familiar with Anthony Carter or Mike Quick. I remember Art Monk, Ernest Givens, Tony Hills. Somewhat, that sounds familiar. But yeah, I was still very young. 90s is much closer because I was in my teens. So let's look at the 90s. We are led again by Jerry Rice for the 90s at 82.7 yards a game. Now you'll notice 60s, Lance Allworth, he's still by far the most in a particular decade for yards per game. So even the great Jerry Rice could not overtake him, even though he had more longevity when it came to receiving. He was followed by Michael Irvin at 78.2. Then you had Isaac Bruce, Sterling Sharp, Marvin Harrison, Antonio Freeman, Herman Moore, Keyshawn Johnson, Chris Carter, and Jimmy Smith rounds out the top 10 with 65.2. All those are names I remember exactly. 80, I knew most of them, but there's still a few I wasn't as familiar with. 90s, knew them all. Because, like I said, this is where I have the most development in watching football. I did watch the 2000s. At the top, number one, you had Terrell Owens, who led the pack with 81.4 yards per game over the 2000s. He was followed by Marvin Harrison at 80.3, so it wasn't no runaway. Then you have Torrey Holt, Anquan Bowden, Andre Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, Randy Moss, Jimmy Smith, who was in the 90s, he's in the 2000s, so it's somebody making a reappearance. Chad Johnson, and we finish out with David Boston in the top 10 at 71.6. Now, we get some into the 2010s, and we get people that are passing Lance Allworth per game, per decade. 2010s, Julio Jones leads at 96.2. Remember, Lance Allworth was 93.5, so we've surpassed him. Calvin Johnson was just behind Julio Jones at 95. So yeah, both of them surpassed Lance Allworth. They're followed by Michael Thomas, Odell Beckham Jr., Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, and T.Y. Hilton. I'm not as familiar with Keenan Allen. The rest of the names I know because I did watch quite a bit in the 2010s, but I had a fall off in the 2010s, so I'm not I can't place Keenan Allen. The rest of them I know fairly well. And 2020 so far, we're only halfway through. The leader so far has been Justin Jefferson at 96.5 yards per game. He is the 2020's leader and the most yards for any decade since the NFL came into existence. So yeah. He's followed by Puka Nakusa at 88.4. Then we have Jamar Chase, then Devontae Adams, then Tyreek Hill, then A.J. Brown, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, rounding it out at 73.5. But yeah, especially in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s, it's kind of slowly just crawled up as far as overall. There was quite a bit of that from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, except it went a lot more in distance. But then we had the fallback from the 60s to the 70s, and we had to come back up to where we were in the 60s, in the 80s. So, yeah. But thought we'd look at that. Yeah, I'm still familiar with some of your 2010s. Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson, Odell Beckham Jr., Antonio Brown, Mike Evans. And I think AJ Green I remember somewhat. I know DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen. Yeah. 2020s I know Justin Jefferson. I don't know Puka Nakusa. I've heard the name Jamar Chase. I couldn't tell you near as much. Devontae Adams also, same thing. I know Tyreek Hill. I don't know AJ Brown. I know AJ Green, but I don't know AJ Brown that much. I've heard Cooper Kupp quite a bit. Stephon Diggs, I know. CeeDee Lamb, I know. Not sure about St. Brown. So yeah, I've kind of fallen out after the 2010s, but I've tried to start getting back into watching football again. Jefferson's a great receiver, so yeah. Anyway, after I spent so long on that particular chart, let's get back into things here. This from Archaeology Mag. Madagascar enigmatic rock-cut architecture suggests Zoroastrian origins. In the remote Isalo Massif in southern Madagascar, remember Madagascar is the island off the east coast, southeast coast of the continent of Africa. At a site called Tiniki, an international team of researchers has uncovered a unique rock-cut architectural complex that has no known parallels on the island or the nearby East African coast. This discovery has prompted speculation about possible links to Zoroastrian communities and long-distance migration and trade networks. Zoroastrian is one of the earliest known monotheistic religions. Monotheistic just means there's one God. It's not many gods like Norse or Greek or Roman. No, one God. Like you think of with Christianity, like you think of with Islam, Judaism. Zoroastrianism is the same way. One God. And it's one of the earliest we know that is like that. Now, from Cranfield University, United Kingdom, I believe that is. When past meets future, drone mapping unlocks secrets of a megafortress in the Caucasus. Cranfield University academic has used drone mapping to investigate a 3,000-year-old megafortress in the Caucasus Mountains. Dr. Nathaniel Erb Satulo, senior lecturer at Archaeological Science in Cranfield Forensic Institute, has been researching the site since 2018 with Dmitry Jacqueliani, his co-director from the Georgian National Museum, revealing details that reshape our understanding of the site and contribute to a global reassessment of ancient settlement growth and urbanization. That's interesting because Caucasus, you're looking at Russia, Eastern Europe, and if there's a 3,000-year-old fortress there, that brings up a lot of interest. Because most of what we know, modern day Russia, was founded by the Rus, thus the name Russian. Rus is an old word meaning oars people. And it's believed that they get this name because they were from Scandinavia, considered during the time of the Vikings. They came up rivers into modern day Russia and founded that. So this would be before even that. Interesting. Now, we have an image here. Dimmen, a German city overwhelmed by the bodies of suicide victims. Soviet officers observed the bodies of 2 German civilians who committed suicide in April 1945. I guess the Germans feared that the Soviets would be severely brutal to them and thus committed suicide, because this is in the waning days of World War II. And you can see the Soviet officers and dead individuals who committed suicide. Like I said, waning days, World War II, the Soviets are coming in from the east, and then there's also pressure coming in from the west, from the US and Britain and Canada. So yeah, I guess, like I said, I guess they feared brutal retribution by the Soviets. Because the Soviets lost a lot of people during World War II. It was extremely brutal with them. They and the Germans lost a ridiculous number of people. And another image. This is an image of Iran's first parliament in 1906. So more of a Democratic or Republic type government. It changes a lot of what a lot of people try to make us think an older Iran was like. From The Guardian, let's get into some news here. From The Guardian, diamonds lose their sparkle as prices come crashing down. Lab-grown rocks and fewer weddings have put a huge dampener on the market. On the bright side, a big dazzler is now affordable for many. Do they list how much? Woo! Lab-grown diamonds, which are now 74% cheaper than in 2020. Natural diamonds cost 26% less than in 2023. But lab-grown diamonds are really cheap, 74% cheaper than 2020. So yeah. From The Guardian, Ohio police cracked down on body camera footage in a blow to civil liberties. New state law means police can create a paywall of up to $750 for access to crucial video evidence that is often fucking needed to put these assholes behind bars. A lot of the time it don't even go that far. No, this is a bullshit law. Fuck you, motherfuckers. From the BBC, Trump touts economic policy at rally as Senate works to confirm cabinet. President Trump just spoke at a Las Vegas rally where he promoted his no tax on tips policy and touted the action his administration took this week. If you really wanted to do something for people working in restaurants, get rid of the tip bullshit and make them get paid like any other regular person. But no, he don't do that. That's too kind. One of those actions gained attention on Saturday as it became public that Trump fired at least a dozen inspector generals, watchdogs aimed at preventing fraud, waste, and abuse in federal agencies, because that's how companies make their money. If they have to pay fines for doing what's wrong, then they'll never make big money. I'm so sick and tired of this jackass already. It's only been 1 week, and he's fucked up America so bad. From Political Discussion, do Trump's early actions mirror Project 2025 plan that he once dismissed while on the campaign? Yeah, they do. Donald Trump's early actions in his second term have sparked debate over their alignment with Project 2025, a conservative policy blueprint he previously dismissed. Despite his campaign's disavowal of the Heritage Foundation's controversial plan, many of Trump's initial executive orders and policy moves closely mirror the proposals outlined in Project 2025. This raises questions about the extent to which his administration is influenced by the blueprint and whether his actions reflect a broader conservative agenda. Both Bloomberg and Axios have created tracking checklists for Project 2025 agenda and the current administration actions. He does provide links. So, do Trump's early actions show that Project 2025 really was the playbook for his administration? Trump's actions, of course, align with much of that document and a conservative agenda. The document outlines GOP and conservative positions. I'd expect he'll do or try to do 60 to 70% of what is in that plan. He's just signing whatever they put in front of him. The first signing ceremony would be comical if the results weren't so tragic. You nearly want to laugh, but you really want to cry. And all of it has to be in front of cameras. Everything he does is produced for the cult to guzzle. I'm sitting on a plane at the moment from Vegas to Atlanta, and every other seat has Fox on the screen. No NBC or MSNBC or CNN, just Fox. The others are movies or sitcoms. I saw someone watching YouTube videos of nothing but that stuff when I was on a flight too. I think it was Matt Walsh or Ben Shapiro. Typically, presidents do not write their own executive orders. They have staff to do that. Do you think he signed anything that's in opposition to what his platform is? Most of Project 2025 was pretty standard conservative stuff anyway, so it's not surprising. Yeah, I'll let y'all read the rest of that, but I warned y'all. It wasn't good, but no one fucking listens. From The Independent, Trump's calls with British leaders reportedly left staff crying from laughter. Trump has not yet spoken with Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer since taking office on Monday. Let's close this little window here. Donald Trump's phone conversations with two British prime ministers who served during his first term were apparently so madcap that they left staff at number 10 Downing Street in tears, laughing. According to a report in Politico, any conversation between then president and the two occupants of number 10 from 2017 to 2021, Theresa May and Boris Johnson, were appointment listening for civil servants and other aides in the Prime Minister's orbit, with staff making a point to gather in a secure room or the Prime Minister's private study to hear them speak with the American leader, because it left people laughing so much. Because he's such a fucking idiot. I tell you, people listen, it's like, no, he's a genius, clearly. Anyway, from LGBTQ Nation, right-wingers tell Bishop to die because she begged Donald Trump to have mercy on trans kids. Trump ally Matt Walsh called her Exhibit A for why women should not be pastors. No, if you ask me, what she told them was exactly why they should be pastors, because there's not enough people who show mercy, who are kind to those who struggle, who are often dealt blows of evil by monsters like Trump. A public call for mercy from an Episcopal Bishop to the President of the U.S. has ignited a firestorm of outrage among Trump supporters, the little whiny bitch-ass motherfuckers. On Tuesday, Episcopal Bishop of Washington, D.C., Marianne Edgar Buddy, spoke directly to Trump at a national prayer service following his inauguration on Monday, saying, "In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now, including undocumented immigrants and LGBTQ plus children." And what do they reply? The prayer sent Trump and his allies off the deep end. The so-called bishop who spoke at the National Prayer Service on Tuesday morning was a radical left hardline Trump hater. "Dumb fuck," Donnie said on his Truth Social platform late Tuesday night. She was nasty in tone and not compelling or smart. She failed to mention the large number of illegal migrants that came into our country and killed people. Many were deposited from jails and mental institutions. It is a giant crime wave that is taking place in the U.S. Trump's allies on the right took his cue and piled on with open contempt for the Episcopal priest in menacing posts and commentary. Yeah, fuck you cocksuckers who whine and bitch because this woman had the gumption, the temerity to do what Jesus would do, ask you to show compassion and mercy. But you fuckers don't believe in Jesus. You don't listen to what Jesus says. That's why you should go ahead and burn your so-called Bibles. You're not fucking Christians. You're fucking psychopaths. Need to go ahead and melt down the Statue of Liberty while we're fucking at it, because we're not a place of opportunity and hope that welcomes those who are struggling, who seek a better life. No! We fucking arrest them and kick them out because this is what dumb fuck Donnie has fucking said we should do. Fuck you goddamn fuckers. Anyway, from the Independent, Trump fires 17 government watchdogs in middle of the night, but a key one remains in his post. Trump is dismantling checks on power and paving the way for widespread corruption, says Elizabeth Warren. President Trump fired 17 inspectors general on Friday in the late-night purge of the internal government watchdogs that monitor federal agencies. The measure didn't remove Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz. One of the fired officials told the Post, "It's a widespread massacre. Whoever Trump puts in now will be viewed as loyalists, and that undermines the entire system." Yep, it sure as fuck does. Why? Why were dumbasses so stupid to vote for cocksucker Donnie, the dumb fuck sumbitch? From The Guardian, after his executive order on sex, is Trump legally the first female president? The confusing and vague executive order underscores how complex sex is and why it's hard to reduce it to a neat binary. 'Cause Trump's a goddamn dumb fucker! Stupid motherfucker that he is! Is Trump the first female president? Has the moment we've all been waiting for arrived? After both Clinton and Harris failed to break the biggest glass ceiling, has a woman finally ascended to the highest office in America? Legally speaking, is Donald J. Trump the first female president? There was a flurry of commentary this week suggesting that, by the Trump administration's own definition, this could very well be the case. On Monday, you see, Trump kicked off his second term by signing a barrage of executive orders, including one stating that sex starts at the moment of conception, at which point Trumpian science decrees you are female or male, and that's it. But they're not decided until week's end, dumb fucker. Female means a person belonging at conception to the sex that produces the large reproductive cells, according to his executive order. Male means a person belonging at conception to the sex that produces the small reproductive cell. Thus, despite Trump's decree that sex is immutable, the wording of his executive order left some room for interpretation. Indeed, some critics noted that because the undifferentiated genitalia that makes males and females share very early on in fetal development are phenotypically female. You could argue he just made everyone legally female. Again, Trump is a dumb fucker. Why do people listen to this dumb fucking son of a bitch? Yeah. Early on in the first several weeks of the fetus's life, where it's got no definition, there is no male and female. They're all typically female at that fucking point. Thus, Trump, being the dumb fuck that he is, made himself female. From Axios, majority of Americans have unfavorable view of Musk and Doge, according to an AP North poll. About half of U.S. adults have an unfavorable view of Elon Musk, and an even larger share disapprove of President Trump, relying on advice from billionaires to shape government policy, according to a new AP North poll. Musk is playing a central role in the Trump administration with the new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, which he has promised will revolutionize the U.S. government. But Americans are far from sold on the initiative and its leader. Just 29% of Americans approve Trump's creation of DOGE, the survey found. So, of course, it's the Trump hardliners that approve of it. A little over half, 52%, of those surveyed said they have an unfavorable opinion of Elon Musk, while 36% said they have a favorable opinion of the world's richest man. How stupid! How fucking stupid do you have to be to like the world's richest man, who's a complete and utter narcissist and jackass, while the majority of people in not just America but the world are suffering? Fuck people like Elon Musk. Fuck Donald Trump. 60% of U.S. adults have an unfavorable view of the president relying on a billionaire for advice about government policy, the survey found. 60%! He's already fucked himself over again! That 49% will be his all-time fucking high. He never got over 50% because he's a goddamn evil, nation-dividing son of a bitch. %78% of Democrats said they disapproved of it, while just 35% of Republicans said the same. Yeah. From Mother Jones. Trump's definitions of male and female are nonsense science with staggering ramifications. We just talked about it in another article. He's essentially made everyone female because that's the fucking genetic phenotype that fucking exists at birth. You dumb fucker. How can you so fully misunderstand basic human biology and then legislate about it? Because he's stupid. That's how. He's a dumb fucker. From Salon. Boggles my mind. Experts think Trump's blatantly unconstitutional order has a chance with SCOTUS. Fate of Trump's birthright citizenship order depends on whether Supreme Court conservatives actually take their job in history seriously. But the way they overturned Roe v. Goddamn Wade, I doubt they give a shit about precedent. From The Guardian. Trump's anti-DEI order yanks Air Force videos of Tuskegee airmen and female pilots, you know, people who were trendsetters, who helped change things. Tuskegee airmen making airmen of color a thing, and female pilots making female pilots a thing. But, of course, Trump being an anti-DEI little bitch had that yanked, and thus any consideration of that is trash because Trump's a bitch! From the AP. Trump ends Fauci's security detail and says he'd feel no responsibility if harm befell him. Well, I feel no sadness if harm befell Trump. Fuck you, Donnie. From The Guardian. Trump again demands to buy Greenland in horrendous call with the Danish Prime Minister. The Danes are in crisis mode after U.S. President's call with Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen. Might be Mette. I don't speak Danish. I apologize. Yeah. From the AP. Lordy test and MAGA checks. Inside the Trump White House's intense screening of job seekers. Job seekers hoping to join the new Trump administration are facing a series of intense loyalty tests, with White House screening teams fanning out to government agencies to check for Make America Great Again bona fides and carefully parsing applicants' politics and social media posts. Trump has long said he believes the biggest mistake he made during his first term was hiring what he considered to be the wrong kinds of people. What you consider the wrong kinds of people are people who know how to do their goddamn job. All you care about is who will kiss your fucking ass. Fuck you. From ACS.org, American Chemical Society. New design makes aluminum batteries last longer, which helps with storage of solar and wind power. Large batteries for long-term storage of solar and wind power are key to integrating abundant and renewable energy sources in the U.S. power grid. However, there is a lack of safe and reliable battery technologies to support the push towards sustainability, clean energy. Now, researchers reporting in the American Chemical Society Central Science have designed a cost-effective and environment-friendly aluminum-ion battery that could fit the bill. From The Guardian, Just Stop Oil protester, 78 years of age, has jail term extended after no suitable tag is found. Guy Delap told she will have to serve 20 more days that correspond to a period of time at home after recall. This is what happens when you fight the good fight. When you push back against oil. When you push back against evil. The powers that be push back on you. We need a new form of American Revolution, French Revolution, human fucking goddamn revolution. Fuck these cocksuckers. From the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, Canada calls for review of business relationship with Amazon after Quebec closures. I'm not going to tell them what I'm going to do in advance, says Industry Minister. Absolutely. Don't tell them. Find the goddamn fuck out of them. Make them squirm. From Android Authority, frustrated YouTube viewers seek explanation for hour-long unskippable ads. Yeah. There's a chance ad blockers are eating up the skip button while also failing to block the ad. Yeah, I've got ad blocker and it no longer blocks. Which is goddamn bullshit, because I don't like to sit through these long goddamn fucking ads. I've made a video about this before. Others have made videos about the ridiculous length the ads are getting to. YouTube users are experiencing extremely long, unskippable ads, sometimes up to an hour long. There's a good chance that ad blockers might be contributing to the issue. We've reached out to Google for comments. Google offers this statement. Ads are a vital lifeline for our creators that helps them run and grow their businesses. That's why the use of ad blockers violate YouTube's terms of service. We've launched a global effort to urge viewers with ad blockers enabled to allow ads on YouTube or try YouTube Premium for an ad-free experience. Fuck you. I make videos, but I sure as fuck would never tell people, sit through the ads so I can get money. Fuck that goddamn shit. You have a right to bypass it, motherfuckers. Go bypass it, god damn it. They shouldn't be making you fucking suffer because they want money. Fuck them, god damn it. I don't have anything to beg for. They don't give me money. Fuck them. From The Guardian, move closer to Europe, not Trump. Voters tell Starmer in major UK poll. Pressure growing on Labour to improve trade with the European Union as Rachel Reeves amidst Brexit damaged the UK. Yeah, see, even Britain's like, yeah, Trump, nah, he's a psychopath. Let's head over, try to get back with the EU. From the Canadian Broadcast Company, the I think it's New Democratic Party MP Angus calls for investigation into Elon Musk over potential election interference. He says Musk has the power to easily impact our electoral integrity. Yep, and you can see by the way he uses the platform formerly called Twitter. I ain't gonna call it that goddamn ridiculous, stupid ass fucking thing he goddamn wants everybody to call it. Fuck cocksucker. From The Guardian, Saudi Arabia asks Hans Zimmer to rework the national anthem. Composer also discusses plans for a musical and film score as Kingdom attempts to improve its image. So yeah, they want him to write a new national anthem for Saudi Arabia. And finally, from The Guardian, bombs buried in the Gaza rubble put at risk thousands returning to homes, say experts. People planning return to neighborhoods to search for loved ones and assess damage to homes this weekend. It's something the fucking evil cocksuckers called the Israeli government and IDF would goddamn fucking do. Fuck those sons of bitches. Now, let's watch some videos here. This is Elon's Nazi salute from another angle. Really? Really? You're going to do this shit? Fuck you. I can always do this. Heh heh heh. Okay, I had no sound. But yeah. He's giving a salute. Don't give me the bullshit that it was awkward or he was giving his hunt. No, fuck you. Fuck you, cocksuckers. Fuck you. The Towamencin supervisor, Laura Smith, resigns from Montgomery County Library Board after Nazi salute. I don't know where exactly this is, somewhere in the U.S. Montgomery County Library Board. I don't know what state that is in. But here we go.
Checking in on my friends who are struggling this week. Heart goes out to you. Hope you're doing okay.
Oh boy. Nazis. But it gets even better because that's not just some rando. That's not like a homemaker who will just get some dirty looks at the next PTA meeting. No, her name is Laura C. Smith, and she's the vice chair of the Board of Supervisors. I'm going to botch that name if I try it. For that township in Pennsylvania. She then proceeded to comment on that video.
Okay, Pennsylvania.
Something that matters to me without an unhinged person being a complete prude. So I made a post to stir the pot because I can. I think she's confused pot stirring with shooting your own political career in the foot. But you can't find this comment or the video on her page anymore because she deleted it and offered this bullshit gaslighty apology. A video I posted recently to social media has been greatly mischaracterized. Not wishing to give offense, I removed the video from my accounts. I abhor racism, anti-Semitism, or discrimination in any fashion or form. Apparently you don't abhor it that much. In fact, I'd say you seem pretty fucking comfortable with it. And not surprisingly, people in her township are calling for her resignation. It comes up at the end of the year anyway, but that's not soon enough for them. And I know this is probably all rough for you, Laura, but my heart, it goes out to you. You see how I managed to do that without making a hand gesture that was popularized?
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
Genocidal
Fake
monsters. I tried to
heart goes out to you. You can actually just go, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. You don't do that fucking Nazi salute. What the hell is wrong with people? Now, Israel has Palestinian kids as hostages.
So we just got the list of the first of the hostages that are to be exchanged, right? And on that list of Israeli hostages, out of the 9,400 hostages that they hold in their prisons and torture regularly, 10 of those are children. Now, we tend to just gloss by that, but let me say that again. 10 of them are children. Out of the 9,400 hostages that Israel holds, 320 of them are children. Listen, children. Israel has a law that they can arrest children on administrative detention with no trial, no nothing. They even have a law that if they're over 12, they can try them as adults. Children. Do you understand how fucking absolutely evil Israel is? To be putting children in jails. Children. What the fuck?
Yeah. How anyone cannot see how fucking evil the IDF and the Israeli government is baffles me to no end. How stupid do you have to fucking be? Finally, Israeli female soldiers Karina Ariv, Daniela Gilboa, Nama Levy, and Liri Abag, released today by Al-Qassam, speak in Arabic and say they were treated well, given food, water, and clothes. They also thanked Al-Qassam for keeping them safe from Israel's bombardment.
السلام عليكم مرحبا. شكرا لكتاب القسام على كل المعاملة الكويسة. شكرا للأكل والشرب والملابس. شكرا للشباب اللي كانوا يحفظوا علينا ودير بالو علينا من كاسف. وإن شاء الله يكون الكل يوم سعيد وأحسن يوم وكلنا نكون بخير. يوم 25/1/25.
Yeah. See, I see nothing but kindness coming from the captors. They at least try to treat them well. They have them captive, yes, but they at least treat them well. They treat them as human beings. They understand they have needs. But what do Israelis do? No, they torture and rape and all kinds of evil things. I mean, we're on the wrong wrong side of history, allowing them to use our fucking weapons to commit a genocide. But anyway, we'll go ahead and end this episode here. As always, educate thyself, think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll be putting these links in the description box below the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.